Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Tuesday, January 10th, and a very active period coming up right now through the next 7 days or so. We got about 4 inches of snow across the area, but it's still snowing. We may add that another inch or two to that. So many areas in central Michigan are going to be in that 3 to 6 inch range, and about 2 to 4 inches once you get further south. But again, a pretty snowy overnight. Conditions will improve quite a bit this afternoon as far as the roadways, but we're going to see a lot of winds develop. We got a high wind watch out for much of the area, as we can see winds gusting to 40 miles an hour or better, and even the potential that some of the wind gusts could be over 58 miles per hour. And if that were to occur, look for some definitely some scattered power outages across the state today into tonight. If we look at the headlines again, Slot Fest 2017 has begun with the snow now. We're going to get to warmer temperatures, maybe a little freezing rain or rain this afternoon or today before it's warm enough to be all rain. And then we're going to look at a system for later tomorrow into early Thursday that could bring us some significant icing accumulations. Right now the models are pretty set for at least 1/10 of an inch, but we got to watch that. There's a potential, I think, for at least 1/4 of an inch of freezing rain in some locations across the MAC area, and that would be criteria enough for a night storm or a winter storm warning. And again, we're going to watch another system that's very similar to the one we're going through right now over the weekend, and that could give us some more significant snow, followed by another warm surge that could change it to rain. So a very active period for sure coming up. And this is from last night and this morning across the Breckenridge area. And as the animation takes place, you'll eventually be able to see some of the snow falling across the area, and then the snow begins to drift around as it accumulates on the drive here and then blows off it as the winds begin to really pick up here during the overnight hours. And again, most areas again picking up about 3 to 6 inches from the storm before it warms up. If we look at the normals of the day, our normal high is 27, the normal low is 12. And if we look at the snow cover map for the winter wheat, you can see the orange being the snow depth for each one of these days, and the green represents snowfall for a particular day. If we look at the warmest and coldest temperatures across the lower 48, 86 degrees at Fort Stockton, Texas, and the lowest temperature 34 to below zero at Massardess, Maine. And if we look at conditions around the area yesterday across the MAC area, warmer conditions compared to the previous day with temperatures well into the 20s. The warmest temperature 29 degrees at Jasper, and the cool spot 13 degrees at Marlette. And if we look at the current conditions across the MAC area, you can see plenty of temperatures up now in the upper 20s to the low 30s, still in the upper 20s across much of the northern and eastern portions of the MAC area, and that's where the snow continues to fall, and we could even see a little freezing rain mixed in there until temperatures eventually do climb above freezing. In fact, we'll get well into the 30s today, so I think many of the major roads should be able to get in good shape here by mid-afternoon. And if we look at the current radar map, you can see still plenty of pretty good slugs of precipitation across much of the area. The green representing some mild or some moderate precipitation rates falling. And if we look at the next screenshot, you can see the weather map for this morning. Our low pressure system will continue to move up to the west, and that'll bring that surge of warmer air in. And then a cold front will follow through as we get into tomorrow, and that's going to drop our temperatures down. And then we're going to see a northeast wind flow out of Ontario that's going to bring cooler, drier air to the surface. And then if we combine that with the next low pressure system that's going to be moving along this area just to the south of the state, you can see we're in a pretty good band of freezing rain here, and this will be for later in the day into tomorrow night and into Thursday morning. And again, right now the models are putting down about 1/10 to 1/4 inch of freezing rain, and I think there is the potential that some areas could see some very significant icing as we get into Thursday morning. And again, that'll only add to the potential for some power outages. And you can see even by Thursday morning, still showing freezing rain and a mixture of freezing rain, sleet, and snow just off to the north. Again, these amounts don't look real heavy, but certainly there is a potential, I think, for greater than 1/4 of an inch. And don't be surprised if you see by either tonight or tomorrow morning, maybe some winter storm watches issued for the potential for freezing rain across the southern and central portions of lower Michigan. If we look at the expected wind gusts here over the next about 18 to 24 hours, you can see many areas are going to be in that about 40 to 45 knot wind speed across the eastern portions of the state, and that would be about 50 to 55 miles per hour, maybe even some wind gusts to 60 miles per hour or greater, especially in the Thumb area. And again, high wind watches across much of the area this for later on today into tonight. As far as precipitation here, over the next 114 hours, you can see amounts around an inch or better across much of the area, and again, some of that's going to be frozen in the form of freezing rain. And if we look at the high wind gusts, or the this is the potential for at least 1/10 of an inch of freezing rain or better, and you can see across much of the area, especially from Grand Rapids up to the Tri-Cities, a pretty good chance of some freezing rain that certainly could cause some issues. These kind of a 1/10 of an inch or greater would be winter weather advisory criteria. But again, don't be surprised to see a winter storm watch issued for the potential for significant icing. And if we look at the weather watch out there this morning, you can see a large area of winter weather advisories for the snow that's ongoing. We got some freezing rain advisories over and towards southeastern Ohio into Pennsylvania, and a large area of wind advisories that actually extends well up into lower Michigan, which is also under a high wind watch, again, for the potential for wind gusts of over 58 miles per hour. And we have the winter storm warning across portions of northeastern Wisconsin into south central upper peninsula of Michigan. Thanks for stopping by on this very busy day. We've got lots of weather coming up over the next 7 days, and 73s to all.